What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. Today is Thursday, y'all. It is Thursday, February the 17th, 2022. I'm not for sure where you're located. I know you are tuning in from all over, but it's nothing but rain here in Central Ohio, and I can feel it. So if I'm not as upbeat, I'm sure the rain is causing a conflict with me here today. But I just want all of y'all to come on in the room. When you're coming in here, just let me know what you're looking forward to this weekend. Fill up the chat with that. Also, hit that share button. I'm going to ask y'all to hit that share button. I see you, Camille Hopkins and Deborah Johnson and Marion and Shardinia. I haven't seen you in a minute, Shardinia. What's up, sister? Good morning to all of you. When you hear me say good morning, that means we're a live show. So you're hearing me give shout outs in this morning. If you're listening by audio, I know you're out there, Jeffrey. So I want to say good morning to you. Richard, you have become a regular. We are so grateful to have you on the audio side of things. Let's see. Lisa is out there as well. And Judy's out there. And not sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to really give it a stab here. Is it Kanisha? I think that's how you say the name. So anyway, I want to say good morning to you. I know some of you are driving to school, taking your kids to school, or going to work. I just want to say good morning. I see you, Davia and Adrian and Felicia and Shirley and Valerie and Hester and Katrina. I'm sure I'm missing some because y'all are rolling up in here today, and I say thank you. I see you, Stephanie. I see you, Kim Hill. I see you, Deborah Sneed. I see you this morning. Y'all, you're going to want to have your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, or pen and paper, because I have someone coming on here today. I'm going to give her half of the show today. She's going to give us information that we need. Listen. I only met her in December. We did like a trial run. She's now part of the team. She has her own business that is flying off the chart. And y'all heard me get those numbers yesterday. That's all because of her. 200 and something million. Can y'all believe that? I'm still shocked about it. I remember when she sent me that report, and I'm like, she had to have made a mistake here. And I'm like, in my head trying to add up things. And then I'm like hitting her back like, did you say? And she said yes. And she immediately proved it with not her stats, but the Facebook graphs and their stats. And I'm like, wow. And then I wrote back to her. I said, shut the front door. And then she, of course, sent me a text message with the front door shut. That's who she is. But she's going to come and share with us. And I want you to glean from her. But here's this. Don't just glean from her. Hire her. Now, I'm going to just say it like I'm saying it right now. I want all of y'all to hire her. And it's not just for those of us who have businesses. It's those of us who have a personal brand. And here's the truth, y'all. We all have a personal brand. So I'll be bringing her in here in a little bit. I see you, Latrice Jones. Did you share this video yet? I love that. Yes, share this video. All right, y'all. Y'all know what we do. We got to get this baby started. So let's go. Yes, so y'all, it's time for some daily briefs. So let me get these out here from the Council on Foreign Affairs. As of yesterday, President Biden said the United States had not verified the reports of Russia's withdrawal from near Ukraine borders, where 150,000 troops are reportedly stationed. Y'all, in Hong Kong, Chinese president called for Hong Kong's government to take all necessary measures to control the city's COVID-19 surge, which has overwhelmed hospitals. Again, I can't give any commentary behind these. I signed my life away, but I hope y'all heard what I just said. And we're trying to drop masks. But anyway, Afghanistan's representatives of the Taliban government met with European Union envoys in Qatar yesterday. The Taliban appealed for humanitarian aid for Afghanistan, and the EU representative voiced concerns about human rights in the country. UN sounds the alarms about Yemen's escalating war. More than 650 civilians were killed or injured in January, which is by far the most casualties for a single month in the last 3 years of conflict. A UN humanitarian official said. A lack of aid funding means uh, food portions for 8 million people will likely cease in March. So that's happening in Israel. Y'all, guess who showed up in Israel yesterday? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and a congressional delegation visited the Israeli parliament yesterday. Now, I am going to pause. I hope they don't hit me for this. But listen, I've been in that space. Yeah. When I go traveling, I'm like, how do I get to the chambers? And so I was invited to go in, and I went all through the Israeli parliament. I have images. What I'll do later today is post those on the News in Motion page. I was there for a prayer conference. I was speaking on prayer, and I prayed and got my way into the Israeli parliament. I was in there. Yes, I was. But so that's just an amazing space. But they were there on yesterday. They were talking about how to revive the Iran nuclear deal. All right. In Africa and Germany, German vaccine manufacturer biotech will provide African countries with components for the factories that can create the COVID-19 vaccine to develop with Pfizer. The first factory will be sent to Rwanda in the second half of this year. So that is happening. Kim Edmondson said, of course you did. Look, you just gotta listen, there's something about there's some power behind your confidence and your boldness in taking steps. I was like, can y'all, when we have a break, I need to go up in there. And I was there. Now, I was with armed guards, but I was there. And trust me, they vetted the mess out of me, but I got in there and stayed a while. Yes, I did. You just got to do what you got to do, y'all. If I don't teach you anything else here on News in Motion, we're going to talk about having the confidence and boldness to do some things because it's right here before us. All we have to do is do it. All right, y'all. In Chile, the Constitutional Assembly began formally debating motions for a new constitution. When I read these things to you all and share this stuff with you from the Council on Foreign Affairs, please hear what I'm saying. Because when it starts somewhere, trust me, it trickles down to other places. So they are debating motions for a new constitution. Hello, somebody. Major topics of concerns include creating a unicameral Congress, protections for indigenous territories, and water and property rights. Yeah. So in the United States, I think President Biden took some new vitamins or something. Because yesterday he was like, or the other day he was like, Putin, no, this is what you're going to do. Now, I'm paraphrasing. But get this, y'all. Guess what he did yesterday? He said, no. No executive privileges here, Buttercup. No. President Biden is all in this week. And I think Isaiah has an image for that. New York Times is reporting President Biden rejects Trump's claim of executive privilege when it comes to the White House visitors log. In a letter to the National Archives, Mr. Biden White House counsel Dana Roman said that Mr. Biden had rejected Mr. Trump's claims of those logs. And I think we do have a picture in here. Let me see if I can find it. Bam, there it is. They said, give me them logs. They were like, give me those logs. Now, y'all, guess what else is happening? Y'all, CDC wants to give people a break from masking. Now, come on now, Rochelle Wanoski. Seriously, just 2 days ago, you said no. How yesterday? Who is pressuring you to do this? And so we're going to start seeing people do this out there. Y'all know they are. They're going to be like, yeah, let me take this off. That is what's happening. So she signaled that she may ease mask requirements in the next few weeks in response to a few COVID cases and hospitalizations. Recently, there have been a rush of organizations lifting the COVID restrictions from Disney World, removing its mask mandates for vaccinated guests, to various sports teams not requiring proof of vaccination to enter arenas. So y'all, all of this is happening. It is happening. Now, I want y'all to really weigh in on this one. Seriously. So everybody take a breath because I really want you all to weigh in on this. Here's my question to all of you. What say you? What say you to this? Isaiah, go ahead and put up that image of Loretta, former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Y'all, NFL picks defense for Brian Flores race case. The NFL has hired former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch to defend it in a bombshell racial discrimination lawsuit filed this month by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, one of the few Black coaches in the league. Now, he's going to be represented by New York trial attorney Douglas Wigdor, who spearheaded a high-profile gender discrimination case against disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein and Fox News. Now, this is Huffington Post reporting this. Thank you, Isaiah. So here's my question to all of you. My question is this. Do y'all see something happening here? If you were that former U.S. Attorney General, and you are seeing all the disparities within the NFL. Now, y'all did y'all's part on Sunday. Y'all brought out the rap. We brought in a lot of money for you. The numbers increased by a lot. The dollars increased by a lot. What would you do? I really want to hear this. And I'm not saying Black people should go against Black people when it comes to the court of law or anything like that. But I really want, when I read that, I went, well, what are you trying to do here? That's not their normal attorneys. And trust me, I started checking it out. I started digging through, looking at the different attorneys that the NFL have secured, and they didn't look like me. So I want to hear from you in the chat. What do you think about that? Seriously. And Isaiah, feel free to grab any of them that you think fits. What would you do? What are your thoughts of this? She's a bad woman. I give kudos to attorney Loretta Lynch. But what are your thoughts behind this? I felt a certain way. I gotta be honest with y'all. I felt a certain way. Latrice Jones says another way for the United States to undermine the Black community by pitting a Black woman against a Black man is systemic. There was something that I felt about that. I said, what is going on here? And why? Dr. Antoinette said, if I needed a lawyer for something that major, I want Attorney General Lynch's. Well, I would too. And that's the part that's so difficult for me. It's like, yeah, I would want her too. But I guess I saw a bigger picture. Kim Hill said they can hire a Black attorney, but not coaches. I'm thinking she should have said, no, thanks, I'll pass. And I don't know. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I'm having some trouble with this one. And thank you all for those of you who are weighing in. For her to take the job is the question. Yeah, I don't know, Lord. And I wanted to share it here because on one hand, I'm like, you go, sister. On the other hand, I was like, here's another opportunity to divide us or within our own community. Kenny Stanley said they constantly want to pit Black women against Black men. And that's unfortunate. So we're wrestling with so many things here. But again, I say to her, kudos to you, sister, that you are that high profile where people will tap into you. So I'm back and forth here. I'm struggling a little bit, and I'm just being honest with y'all here. Y'all know I'm always transparent, so I'm just being a little challenged here. Fred Jones says the NFL pays well. Follow the money. That's a good one. That's a good one, Mr. Jones. That's a good one. All right, y'all. In housing, I want you to think about this. The Real Deal is reporting South Florida may sound good, but the rent has increased 34% as of last December. Now, it just topped New York City to become the least affordable housing market in the U.S., a new Reality Hop report showed. Now, the Miami median's home price of $589,000, an average household income of $43,401. I want y'all to think about that for a moment. Everybody just put on your thinking caps for a moment. Now, the median housing is begins at $589,000. Now, the average household income is $43,401. Now, the typical household would spend about 78.7% of their income on home ownership costs. The general benchmark is to spend no more than 30% of your income on housing. But in this case, we're talking 78.7% on housing. So how are you going to eat? How are you going to pay your utility bills and all those types of things? So y'all, that is happening. This increase, this boom, this inflation, this increase is happening. Hester says housing and all, the numbers don't add up. Too expensive. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yes, you're right, Kim Edmondson. That's a huge disparity. Now, y'all, we're going to go from housing to used cars, and I'll be bringing Christina on in a minute. We're going from housing to used car. Y'all, used car prices. The price of used cars is revving up once again, even faster than new cars, according to a recent Department of Labor statistics. Pre-owned car prices are up nearly 40% from last year. New cars are also up, but only by 12%. Y'all, the Dodge Caravan minivan that sold for an average of $15,227 in January 2021, it is now selling for $25,789. That's an increase of 69%. Of 69%. I just want y'all to know that. Yep. Now we're going to go on to DoorDash. Y'all, DoorDash, I want y'all to see all these numbers. So DoorDash, the food delivery company, stock popped nearly 40% after it said its customers placed a record 369 million orders last quarter, which is a 35% increase from a year ago. Now, they now have an annual revenue growth of 4.9 billion. That's with a B, dollars. Thank you, Isaiah. So that is all happening, y'all, right now. That is all happening. So, y'all, we have to think of that, our income, the money, and the things that are happening and going on. Now, if you want to really get into something, join me tonight. I'm on with Cherie with Power 52. I'm going up. It's like a versus type thing. I'm going up against a Black Republican. And it's funny because I'm labeled as a Democrat, but I'm really an independent. Tonight, we're going to have a passionate conversation. You can find that on Facebook Live on Power 52 Foundation. You can find it. Join me. I believe it begins at 8 p.m. I think I have an image in our thread here on News and Motion. Now, I'm going to need y'all to come through and support a sister now. I'm going to need y'all to come through and support a sister, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And we're just going to have a real, frank, passionate conversation. So if you're available to join us today, please do so. One more thing, and then I'm going to Christina. Google. Apple wins again, but let me just talk about Google. CNBC is reporting Google announced big privacy updates yesterday that would limit the ability of advertisers to track Android users' activity across apps. This was an announcement that was made on yesterday that is going to begin to have restrictions following a similar move made by Apple last year that really dealt with this whole advertising things. And trust me, I'm like saying, no, you cannot track me. Now, y'all, this change could affect big companies that have relied on trackers using across apps like Facebook parent Meta. Apple adjustment hit Meta particularly hard, for example. Now, Meta said earlier this month, Apple privacy changes will decrease the social media company sales this year by about 10 billion. The news contributed to wiping out 232 billion from the company's market cap. So let's even talk about that for a moment if we can. That's a lot of money, y'all. That's a lot of money that is out there. But we're saying, stop following me. Stop tracking me. Y'all see where Texas, I shared earlier this week, where Texas Attorney General has filed a suit against Facebook for all of this tracking, the facial recognition and all these things, and listening in to conversations. And it's creepy to me. It's like I can say something, all of a sudden, I can say, oh, I want a mimosa. And all of a sudden I get pictures of mimosas everywhere. It's like, what? Stop listening to me. John Gore said you can get the higher prices on used cars because of low mileage due to COVID. Used cars are almost new. Yep, I believe that's too. Y'all, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Y'all, I am so excited. I'm like 2 minutes later bringing her in. We have a time. We have a lay of schedule. So I'm beyond past 2 minutes. But y'all, I'm so excited to bring Christina on today. She's just amazing. She is the owner of KP Business Marketing. Again, you want to take notes. And it doesn't mean that you need to have a business to hear your brand. Every one of us have a brand, our personal brand. She's going to talk about how we can work social media, what that looks like, how we advance people. And what we need you to do right now, we're asking you, we're begging you, hit that like button or the heart button, because again, that changes the algorithm. It's not just for me, y'all. It's to help people who have not been able to find the show, to find the broadcast, and they're looking for it, because sometimes we're hidden. Even if you put in news in motion, even if you know how you want to go tag somebody and you're not finding them, it's like, where are they? I know we're friends. Why can't I tag them and they just come in here? We're looking for them. It's because the algorithm is off. And y'all, she's going to break all this down for us. So go ahead, Isaiah, bring Christina in here. She won Local Business Person of the Year in Concord, North Carolina for the second year in a row by Alignable. Y'all said, that means she's bad. She's winning awards, okay? She helps modern CEOs elevate their personal brand with aligned strategy and organized design. Y'all, when she sent me the pitch, I was like, who is this sister? Because she's like, come on. I mean, just page after page, and how she put everything together. And I am so glad that our paths crossed. And so welcome to you this morning.
Thank you for having me, Gail. And I am also very glad that our paths crossed. You are one of my favorite clients. I love working with you. I love your personality. You're larger than life. I love news and motion. So I'm super happy to be here.
I am so excited. We're going to jump in first. I could not hold it yesterday, so I had to tell everybody. I was like, y'all, she gave me these numbers. So can you talk about that? Isaiah, put that slide up real quick. And I want all of y'all to see it. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's going on. Thank you, Isaiah. Can you please tell us how you were able to do that in just a short wow? Tell us the secrets.
A lot of research. As a journalist, I'm sure you know too that a lot of good business comes from research. So I spend a lot of hours searching trending topics, trending hashtags to try and put you in a better position, to try and put you in front of all these people. And running these Facebook reports, I don't know if anybody's ever looked at them through, now it's called Meta Suite. It used to be Facebook Business Suite. It will literally tell you, which is kind of creepy, like you were talking about the privacy thing, but it will tell you how many men and women are looking at your posts, how old are they, where are they located. I mean, some of your stuff is being seen internationally and you probably don't even realize it. So you're not just talking to, me in Charlotte or somebody in Central Ohio. You are literally talking to people in Europe and you have no idea. You wouldn't have an idea if you didn't look at those posts. So when I look at News in Motion as a whole, I want to get it in front of as many people as possible because I think you have an important message and you know how to tell that message. Your storytelling is incredible. I love listening to you every morning. So I take it personal. I'm like, I want everybody to know about Gail. We're going to get you in front of everybody. I don't care if they want to hear her or not. So when I sit down with these reports, I'm like, okay. So on this day, it said she got in front of this many people, these hashtags worked, this content pulled a lot of people in. And month by month, we build that strategy. So when we were first on the phone talking about social media, and I said, listen, the first couple of months, it's going to be a lot of, well, that really didn't work, or that worked. That was really good. We're going to keep that. That's a lot of what social media is. It's a lot of trial and error. So if something doesn't go right for you for the first few months, don't take it personally. Don't let it knock you down. Social media is a really hard game to play. I kind of think of it like chess because I'm no good at playing chess. I don't know the first thing about playing chess, but I would learn through trial and error. It's very strategic. So you have to take the time to look at those reports, look at what's trending, and see what hashtags are going on in the news world in general, not just hashtags that correspond to News in Motion, things that relate to your industry as well to kind of boost you up in the almighty algorithm.
Wow. I have okay, so let me ask a few questions. I think John Gore is still on here. John, let me know if you're still on here. John Gore, he's a part of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. He does a lot of mentoring, a lot of community service. He's doing a lot of things like that. So he does a lot of family posts on his Facebook as well. But there's times he may want to get some news out there. So can you speak specifically to him for this moment to say what type of hashtag? Should it be hashtag mentoring? Should he not use hashtags? What does that look like? And then also, how does he encourage people to share his posts to reach more families that have African American males, young males like in high school?
Absolutely. I will always tell people to use hashtags, always, because that's how people pull you up in their algorithm, so to speak. So whatever you're posting about, make sure your hashtags are relevant or maybe they're parallel to each other. So say if you're posting, maybe the sorority is having a benefit that's a picnic, we're all going to meet at such and such a time, bring a friend kind of thing. You could use hashtags like, you know, um, family picnic or whatever your benefit is about. Come support our sorority, sorority love, sorority life, together as one, things that kind of would resemble your organization but aren't super specific. So
Gotcha.
by specific, I mean like hashtag news and motion. That's very, very specific to your business.
Okay.
Don't be super broad and just do hashtag sorority because you're going to pull up 80 million different sorority posts. When you are on Instagram, it will tell you how many hits are on that hashtag. If there's 11 million hits on the hashtag, don't use it because nobody's going to see you. That's 11 million people you're fighting with.
Okay, stop right there. That's so key because for the longest, until you came along, I thought I need to tap into those 11 million. But the true engagement is to tap into the 100. Yes, no?
I try and keep it under the million mark. So you don't have to make sure that, oh, I can only have 500. If as long as you're under a million, you should be okay. Because
Okay.
we want you to be in front of people, but we don't want you elbow to elbow with 11 million other people.
Got you. And John said, thanks. I didn't understand hashtags. So is there a specific way? And I know we're jumping around a little bit, but I want to come back to this hashtag thing because I think all of us, I can see posts and there's not one hashtag. And I'm like, there has to be some hashtags here. So can you just speak to the importance of it? I know you gave us there's trend and we can key in on it. But even if it's one, can you let us know how valuable that is? Because again, you've taught me a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot.
So think of hashtags like a Google keyword. If you're looking for my business and you type in KP marketing, I will pull up. And that's a very broad search. I'm sure there's other KPs and marketing businesses around.
Okay.
And hashtags kind of work the same way, but in the social media world. So instead of going to Google and typing in KP marketing, you put hashtag KP marketing. So what happens in the algorithm is it searches and it files through. It's got like a filing cabinet. It's like, okay, let's look who's interested in marketing. Oh, well, this person was looking at marketing videos. So we're going to throw this post at her. Or, oh, this person was interested in a sorority. We're going to throw this post at them. That's kind of how hashtags works. It helps. I try and think of like little minions in the back office going through all these files, trying to find out who are we going to show this stuff to.
Okay, so let's take Kenny Stanley, and I'm keying in just a couple people in here. Let's take Kenny Stanley, who does sports. He
Mhm.
joins me on Monday, as you know. So, is there like instead of just NFL or just football, are there other key hashtag like one or two that he should be using continuously on his posts that will help him get recognized?
Yeah, the NFL obviously is a great hashtag, but again, if you put it in, you're probably, fighting with 20 million people instead of 11 million people. Um, so we can expand that hashtag. So if you put, I'm just going to use examples for like my business, put something aligned with it. So instead of just hashtag marketing or
Mhm.
hashtag NFL, expand it. What's so special about you being in the NFL? Obviously, I know the NFL, holy crap, you're in the NFL. That's amazing. And people are probably like, well, how do you get any more special than that? Focus on being unique.
Okay.
Don't try and fit in and just be the, status quo. That's what hashtag NFL or hashtag marketing is. You're just being the status quo. Put stuff in there that makes you unique. What makes you different than the
Mm.
thousands of other NFL players that are on the same field you're playing on? Maybe let's say he won 6 Super Bowls. I'm just throwing a number out there, although I'll manifest for you. You could put NFL superstar or NFL Super Bowl champion or 6-time Super Bowl champion. So he's setting himself apart from that just regular old hashtag NFL. He's putting things in there that are unique to him.
Wow. Wow. People are saying this is great information up here. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, okay, I got to keep. By the way, y'all, if y'all hear a baby start crying, y'all know she just had a baby. She's how old now?
She's a month old. She turned a month old on Valentine's Day.
She's a month old. So that's happening. Okay, so can I keep digging? Can I keep asking a couple more questions?
Yeah, sure.
So my next question is this. And I'm gonna use Hester. I think she's in North Carolina with housing markets and housing sales and home ownership, real estate and things like that. Should she build her brand around the real estate, or should she build her brand around her name, Hester?
So it's really kind of a catch-22. You can do both. You can have two very separate brands.
Okay.
I manage a couple of real estate agents, and with the strategy we came up with, it made more sense to brand them just as a realtor. But if you're thinking, you want to expand outside of the real estate business, maybe, you're going to start a marketing gig or you're opening up a mom and pop shop kind of thing, you don't want to be so specific. You want to be able to put all those brands under your name, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now tell us your story, because you did not start off in this area. And this is the part I think is just phenomenal. Can you share so let people know sometimes you have to leave what you're used to and jump into something new? So can you speak to that? Because I want everybody to know your story.
Absolutely. So I was not always in marketing. I actually don't even have a degree in marketing. I spent about 6 years being a nurse, and in the middle of the pandemic, I was burnt out. I was exhausted. I was missing time out with my family. At the time, I just had my son, who was 3, and he was home from daycare. He couldn't go to daycare anymore. I was always at work, and my husband would send me pictures of him doing, fun stuff with him, painting and dyeing rice, just, fun things that toddlers love to do. And I remember sitting in the break room, and I said out loud, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't for me. I had the passion for it. I loved helping people. I loved my patients. I learned a lot. I learned that there's a lot of good people in the world, but there's also a lot of bad people in the world too.
Right.
So I went home, and my husband said, well, why don't you quit your job? And being the woman, I'm like, oh, that's less shopping money that I have. Let's hang on a minute. And he said, no, seriously, my parents had moved down into the Charlotte area not much long after that. And, I miss them. I was not always close to my parents growing up, just a typical teenager, leave me alone kind of thing. But as I got older, I wanted my mother. My mother and I are best friends. And if she's watching this, she's probably like, yeah, she calls me every single day. So he's like, let's put the house on the market and we'll go to Charlotte. We're going to move to Charlotte. So we did in the middle of the pandemic. This was in 2020. And we sold our house. Didn't know, where we were going to live, what I was going to do. My husband didn't have a job yet. We were living on savings. And I said, we just got to trust the process. I said, there's things waiting out there for us. God has a plan for us. So we left. We made that almost 800-mile journey. We drove all the way down there with all of our stuff. And fast forward, we find an apartment. We're great. And I just happened to stumble upon a network. It's called the Pretty Women Hustle Network. It's about highlighting women in business. I link up with the CEO. Just to keep things short, she's like, I love what you do. You're great at designing graphics, because I used to post in the group and be really interactive. And she's like, why don't you come manage our social media? So I said, okay. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know the first dang thing that I'm doing here. I don't have any formal experience. So I taught myself. I taught myself how to use Canva, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, building websites on Wix and WordPress. I taught all of that myself. Same with, the Google certificates that I have for SEO. And then once I built up their brand to, I think they have almost 12,000 followers now on Instagram. Took about a year to get there. I was like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty dang good at this. So my husband said, he's like, why don't you start your own marketing business? Not that I want to give my husband credit here, and he can probably hear me. But this is his idea. He's like, I really think you've got something here. So who cares if you don't have a marketing degree? He's like, you obviously don't need one. You know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you try and find it out. You try and find the answers.
Yeah.
So in November of 2020, KP Marketing was born, and the rest is history.
I love that. I want y'all to notice a few things she said. Number one, she said she did not have a marketing degree. The second thing she said was that she self-taught. A lot. Some of us just need to take the time, but that comes back to investing in yourselves as well to do it. And then she said, I just took the leap. I trust the process. I'm going all in. I'm just so glad you did all that, because now we're connected and you're not going anywhere. We have this inside thing. She's like, you're not leaving me. And I'm like, you're not leaving me. So I want to circle back around to this, because I want people to really have this. Hester saying, great story here. Kim said, amazing story. Katrina said, come on, husband. Camille said, boss woman. And you can see all of those, probably depends on how you have your system set up to see this chat. But I know for myself, I have been this person. I'm just not a numbers person. Never. If I do a women's conference, if 3 people show up, I'm like, it's just 3 people, and that's what I'm supposed to do. But I have to be honest with everyone tuning in, and also with you, that when I realized those numbers that you sent me were real, it changed everything. It gave me something to say, what are we about to do? Because I'm looking at those numbers and I'm thinking, okay, we're talking millions here. How many of those millions are not registered voters? And how do I get them to register to vote? So and then I've thought about, how many of them are entrepreneurs and they need help positioning themselves and getting out there? What can we do? And I'm cause-based, because we've had conversations around that. So other people may have the same ideas as they're seeing a growth in their social media or their followers. My question to you is this: how do we capitalize on that type of opening to make sure we're meeting the needs of those who are food insecure, to those who are not registered voters, to those who don't understand the voting laws and regulations and the filibusters and parliamentarian and the Byrd rule and all that stuff? How then do we look at this information and say, here's our next step? And to all of my trolls that are out there, I've seen a couple of you pop in. You can go ahead and get this free information too. One day you'll see that I'm on your team. So how do we position ourselves? That's for any of us listening. How do we position ourselves when we see that increase? What do we do? And y'all, for those of you got to go. I know we're past time, but this is I can't stop. What do we do?
So I guess the short answer would be position yourself as an expert. Build a relationship with your viewers for News in Motion, or, maybe you don't have a talk show and you're just on social media in general. Building that relationship is going to be so important, because let's be realistic. If somebody off the streets comes to me and says, you should register to vote, you should vote for this person, you should do this, I'm probably going to look at them cross-eyed and be like, okay, yeah, whatever, buddy. Because I don't know them. I don't trust them. I don't know where you're getting your information from. You could be, telling me to vote for Bob Schmo or Susie. You know what I mean? I don't know where you're getting your information. So if you build that level of trust, and this is with any business, if you can get your audience to trust you, those millions of people are going to have your back. Yeah, you're going to have the trolls and whatever, but they just do it to annoy you. And honestly, I have them too. And I think they're funny. I think they're fun. But once you build that trust and establish that relationship, people are going to almost look up to you. They are going to come to you for advice. Like, hey, Gail, how do I register to vote? Where is my nearest place to vote? Who's running in this election? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? So the biggest thing is just be genuine, be honest, and be there for the people or your viewers.
Wow, that's good. How can people reach you? Because I'm sure people right now are thinking, I need to hire her. So how can they contact you? How can, give us all of that information, please? And Isaiah, can you put our website back up, please?
So you can reach me. You can find me on Facebook. It's just KP Business Marketing. For my Instagram, it's KP_business_marketing, because I just like to make things complicated.
We'll put that in. I know I don't have a banner for that, but we'll get that in. Say that again for us on Instagram.
It's KP_business_marketing. I promise I'll pull up. And then you can call or text me anytime, 315-281-7417.
Give us that again. Give us
315-281-7417. And you can shoot me an email. And this one's simple. I kept it simple. It's kpbusinessmarketing@gmail.com.
kpbusinessmarketing@gmail.com. Anything you want to leave with the viewers? Anything that you love about News in Motion? I'm being selfish right now. Or anything about anything that you're doing? Anything you want to leave with us?
If we can do it, you can do it too. Gail is absolutely inspiring. I watch her every morning with my screaming newborn. I'm usually feeding her, watching News in Motion. But take that chance, take that leap, because Gail and I are here to support you. I may not know who you are, and Gail may not know who you are, but we're here to cheer you on. And Gail is an incredible cheerleader, and we've got your back. So let's do this.
Let's do this. I like what John Gore said. John Gore said, if you don't have haters, that means you aren't doing anything. I like that, John. I love that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I know the baby's quiet, so hubby's doing a job in there. So
she probably fell asleep.
I have one more question. I'm sorry. If someone wants to jump on social media, let's say they haven't really found their niche yet. Would you suggest Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat? Which will be the first one you will want them to land on?
I will always say Facebook, because Facebook is the largest social media network out there. Okay. And then before you go creating a million different other accounts, find out what works for you and your audience. So if you're targeting a younger generation, get on TikTok. You're going to dance like a fool, but you're going to make money from it. I promise you.
See, she gave the key word, y'all. Make money from it.
That's right.
And what's the age group for TikTok?
It's millennial age. Millennial is pretty much all over TikTok. I'm a millennial. I was born in 94, and it is disgusting the amount of time I spend on TikTok.
I got an account, but I'm like, this is not for me. This is just not for me. So I'm like, no. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm still just losing it over that. What was it, 226 million? I'm just still like in awe.
Well, it's real. This is your story now.
Well, and I have you to thank, though. I do. I have you to thank.
You.
So I appreciate you. Y'all, please reach out to her. One sheets, stories, graphics, social media, anything marketing, PR. Just, I'm telling y'all, trust her. Now, y'all can't take my spot. So whatever she has left, you can fill in there. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, here's a quick inspirational message and we're out of here. The inspirational message is this: there's power in silence. There's power in silence. There's power in silence. Y'all know I'm a follower, so I got to give y'all the scripture. The scripture is Proverbs 17:28. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silence. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. I'll read that again. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. Y'all, there's a lot of power in silence. Everything doesn't need a response. There's power inside. Go into your next meeting and just sit and absorb and hear, to be able to process and think through the answer that you're going to give. If you have nothing to say, just say nothing. Sometimes I think we get uncomfortable when we don't have anything to share, but sometimes that silence is what's bringing power. People look at that silent person as wondering, who are they? What are they thinking? And sometimes you're intimidating them because you are in silence. Other than that, I want to pull from what Christina have already shared with us, and that is trust the process and take the leap, y'all. We have to do it. That goes back to my thing that I always say, make bold moves. All right, this has been a great week. Now, again, y'all do what y'all want to with y'all's math, but I'm choosing to keep mine on. Now, the one thing I want to say to restaurants and retailers, if you're listening, I'm really enjoying the drive up. Please don't take that away. Please don't. I'm not ready to come into your restaurant yet. I'm not ready to come into your stores yet. I just need you to keep that curbside experience going. Target, keep your stuff going. I just need y'all to come put the stuff in my trunk and let me keep going. Now, the other thing I don't want y'all to give up, CDC, social distancing. Stay up off of me. I don't want you on me. Stay back. Give me at least 6 feet. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I have. Y'all have a great weekend. Don't forget tonight, if you can join us, you can join us at Power 52 Foundation at 8 p.m. tonight. It's going down. It's me with a brother, with an African-American male who is on the Republican side. I'm going to be coming from the Democratic Independent side, and we're just going to have a great time tonight. Y'all, if you're looking for the merch is still available. I've seen so many of you come on there. The distribution, whatever is happening with the United States Postal Service and with UPS, I don't know what's going on. We do see that things are moving now. So I think the next orders have gone out. Some of you had bad addresses, so it went back in. I got your latest address. They went back out. So things are happening. So thank you for your support there. And if you want to go become a Patreon member, do so. We would love to have you. There's so much happening on Patreon and more to come. Like what Christina shared with us today, these kind of webinars are going to be coming on Patreon to help invest in yourself. Yeah, we're talking $15 a month, okay? $15 a month. If you're able to do it, do it. If you have to give up coffee to do it, give up coffee to do it. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, wash your hands, wear your mask if you want to. Stay social distance, especially when it comes to me. And y'all remember, let's make some bold moves, y'all, okay? All right, y'all, until Monday, I'm out.